security and risk consultant in any enterprise should be aware of special events planned for an area where the enterprise operates. Special events include public and private gatherings of many types. They can include concerts by musicians, sporting events, parades, and other entertainment events. The objective is to maintain a safe environment without interruptions and prepare for potential emergencies. The planning of activities and other actions taken prior to the event have a significant effect on the outcome, and steps should be taken completely to document them. In this assignment, you will study the security requirements for a professional golf tournament and prepare a terms of reference and risk assessment report as a result of obtaining information from the course professional.
Hi, Craig McCullough is my name. I'm a security and risk assessment consultant. I've been asked by Nigel, the manager of the golf club here, to come down and do a risk assessment on the golf club, and importantly a golf tournament that will be taking place here in the near future. I'll also be required to provide security and risk assessment on the preceding 48 hours before the event. I'm here with Nigel Williams. Nigel is a professional golfer and also the manager of the Maylands Golf Club. Now Nigel, in terms of a golf tournament such as the Golf Classic, what would be some of the issues that would be of concern to you in relation to security and risk assessment for a tournament such as the Golf Classic?
Right, Craig, the golf course needs to be secured because of course we've got very delicate greens out there, so we'd like the greens and the golf course to be looked after. We need the driving range to be secured, so we'd like to have some security there. The clubhouse, because the golf professionals will be in there a lot during the week, so we'd like that area secured. And of course the pro shop, as the stock in there is very expensive, we'd like to make sure that we have security keeping an eye on that. Also, we've got 3 high-profile golf professionals coming along, and of course everybody will want to be close to those people, so security for that is paramount.
Very good. Now Nigel, do you think we might be able to have a walk around the golf course and perhaps have a look at some of these issues?
Certainly, let's start in the pro shop.
Thanks. Sounds good. Well Nigel, we're at the pro shop. Now you mentioned earlier that you've got 3 high-profile players playing, as well as members of the public having access to the venue here. What would be your requirements in terms of security for the pro shop for the Golf Classic?
We've only got one entrance to the pro shop, so I'd like to have 2 security guards standing at the front, inspecting bags and making sure people have receipts when they come out of the shop with product.
Okay Nigel, we've got the clubhouse over here.
Yes.
Now, what would be your security requirements in relation to the clubhouse for the Golf Classic?
Craig, we have one entry there and we have an exit over here, so I think if we have a security guard at each door, one security guard at each door, and what we'd like them to do is check to see that everybody that enters has a security pass, which we will give to the players and their caddies. Now, if they don't have a security pass, no entry.
Now Nigel, we're at the function room here, just around the corner from the club rooms. Now, any special security requirements?
No, Craig, the function area will be locked throughout the event, so we don't need any security personnel there. Everything's secure.
Okay. Are there any other issues that you'd be concerned about that perhaps we haven't addressed as yet?
Oh yes, Craig, we've got the greens, the tees, and the practice area that we need to have a look at.
So Nigel, tell me, in your experience, have you had any knowledge of any tournaments or greens being sabotaged?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, we've had a lot of incidents where the golf course is vandalised during the evening.
Yeah.
So you know, all of a sudden they've got a lot of problems. They've got to make the tournament shorter.
Okay, Nigel, we're at the 10th tee.
Yes.
Now, what would be your security requirements for your golfers and your caddies at the tees?
Right. Craig, what I'd like to have, every tee should have a roped off section. So we'll have a U-shaped area right around the tee with 1.5 metre gap just where the white markers are. So that'll then give the golf professionals and the caddy an opportunity to come in, and we'll have a security guard standing there, and the security guard will then make sure that the caddy's got his bib on, right? That shows everybody that he's the caddy, and obviously the player, well, the player will be pretty obvious because he'll be walking with the caddy. Yeah.
I've seen a few golf tournaments and I've seen these people, these gentlemen or sometimes ladies, they hold up a sign, quiet please. They're not security, that's not the role of the security officer?
That's not the role of the security officer. They will be there to help the security officer, but the security officer is the main person there.
Okay, very quickly, specifically what is the role of the security officer at the tees?
The security officer will need to make sure that nobody comes inside the roped area.
Yes.
Yeah, and just make sure that the golf pros are not getting hassled when they come into the roped area. You know, we don't want any people asking the golf pro for a signature when they're autographed when they're about to tee off. Particularly the three high-profile players, they're going to have a security guard with them all the way around the golf course.
Ah yes, great putt Nigel.
Thank you, Craig.
We're at the 10th green. Now in terms of security and protection for the golfers and the caddies, what are your requirements?
Right, like the tee, we would like to have a roped section from where the rough starts, right around the green to where the rough ends. So it gives the players a nice clear path onto the green. We will then have a 1.5 metre exit so we can walk over to the next tee, which is the 11th, so we have an exit over there. Again, if we can have the security guard standing there so they can keep the spectators away from the entrance so that when the golf pros go through, again, they're not mobbed for autographs and golf balls, etc.
Nigel, we're at the drive range here. Now, what would be some of the security requirements for the driving range?
Right. Again, Craig, what we'd like to do is have a roped area. So I'd like the area to be roped off from one fence to the other with a 1.5, 2 metre gap. Again, I'd like 2 security guards at this area because this is where the golf pros come for 40 minutes before their tee-off time and do all their warming up. So we don't want anybody interrupting them at this stage because it's before they tee off. Yeah, they don't want any distraction at all. So yeah, if we can have that off, in the middle here somewhere with the security guard at either side.
Okay, typically can I ask, how many security personnel would you require here?
At this area?
Yes.
2 security guards at this area, one on either side, just to again make sure that the caddy has got their bib on or their security tag, and the golf professional will be with that caddy, so they're not required to have their tag at this stage.
Okay, very good. Now it's also my understanding that there is a practice tee area or practice green area, putting area.
Yeah, there's a practice putting area where the golf pros will be doing some warming up as well. So if we can go over and have a look at that, that'll be super.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Great.
Well, we're at the putting practice area. What security requirements would you require here?
Craig, we have one entrance here. We have an entrance through the gate next to the hut. So I'd like to have a security person at that entrance. I'd also like a roped off area from the fence over there all the way through to the other fence. And if we can have one security person looking after that area just to make sure that nobody comes through from that entrance.
So basically it's the same type of situation where the role of the security officer will be to allow the public in, but certainly not to interfere with any of the golfers in terms of seeking autographs and things of that nature. Yes?
What the security person will be doing is allowing the golf professional and his caddy into this area and keeping the general public out of the area so they can come and putt and chip in peace.
Very good. Okay, Nigel, now you mentioned a short while ago the hut, and obviously if we're going to implement these security processes at the Golf Classic, then we're going to have a command post. I think the hut here would make a good command post. It's close to the pro shop, but far enough away where it can be sort of out of bounds to some extent for members of the public. Can you tell me what facilities the hut has?
Craig, in the hut we have a number of power points, as we do have computers in there at present. Yes, so it's very well suited for that sort of role.
Okay, and I think we'll use that hut as a command post then.
Very good idea.
Great, sounds good. Nigel, in terms of access control into the tournament, what type of security arrangements would you have in terms of like the members of the public coming from the car park into the tournament area?
Craig, what we'd like, or what we will have, is everybody will have purchased their ticket before the event. So when they come through, we'll have a security guard at entrance number 2, which is a small entrance. We'll have one security guard there that'll let people in that don't have bags or eskies. We'll have the other entrance, which is this one here, and we'll actually have 2 security guards here, so they can actually check people's bags if they feel they have to, and again checking the people's tickets and making sure that nobody's bringing in alcohol, video recorders or telephones, as we do not want people having their telephones go off when the golf pros are in their backswings.
Okay, very good. Now, in the event that a person refused to have their bag searched or they didn't have a ticket, what happens then?
They wouldn't be allowed entry. Great.
Okay,
yeah.
Very good, very good. Okay.
No exception.
Okay, Nigel, we're at the 18th green.
Yes.
And I've been to a number of golf tournaments myself, and on the 18th green we always see the marquee.
Yes.
Or a number of marquees. Can you tell me what type of security arrangements would be required here?
Well, Craig, what I'd like is a double-storey marquee, starting from over there, the start of the 18th green, working your way right around to the other side. With that, we need to have 5 entry points, so we can have a security guard at each point.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how will the security personnel be able to identify members of the marquee and so on?
All right. Well, the sponsors will be issued with a pass for their guests, and those passes will get the people into the golf course and into the marquee area.
The river which is surrounding the
yes.
that side of the golf course. What's stopping someone jumping in their boat and coming over and gaining access to the grounds?
Craig, we're very lucky here because there's a lot of virgin bushland over there.
Yep.
And it's very marshy, so a person can't actually drive their boat up to the golf course.
Okay.
All right, so they drive it up to there, and they won't be able to walk onto the golf course itself.
Okay. And plenty of tiger snakes out there to act
Absolutely,
as a bit of an incentive to not try
stay
that.
away. Correct.
Fair enough. Well, Nigel, I think you've given us enough information to put together a terms of reference and also enough info to put together a security and risk report. So we look forward to doing that for you.
That'll be great,
Thanks
Craig.
very much for your time today.
My pleasure.
And
Thank
I'll
you.
catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, so your security needs summary is as follows. You need to complete a terms of reference, a security risk assessment report, and an operational plan, clearly showing how you're going to implement your security measures. Consider that it's a 4-day tournament and you need to provide security for the 48 hours prior to the event. There's 18 holes each day for the 4 days, and we require 2 security guards per hole. Additional security for practice areas, pro shop, clubhouse and the marquee are required. Don't forget security checking of patrons on entry. No videos, no mobile phones and no alcohol. Close personal protection for 3 high profile players. Budget $100,000.